M. Soumya Manoj, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research, is going to handle the course Electronic Devices and the topic BJT, that is bipolar junction transistor. So we will see the outline. First, bipolar junction transistor and the terminals of the transistor, transistor operation, that is both NPN and the PNP transistor. Next, transistor symbol, transistor operating modes and transistor connection, that is common base, common emitter, common collector. And next, finally, the comparison of transistor connection. So first we will see the BJT, that is bipolar junction transistor. Introduction to that. The transistor is a three-layer semiconductor device consisting of either two N and one P type layer of material or two P and one N type layer of material. That is, the former, which we call it as a two, which has a two N type and one P type material, is called as an NPN transistor, and the other, which has a two P type and one N type material, is called as a PNP transistor. So there are two types of BJT, that is PNP transistor and NPN transistor. So here we will see the symbol for the that is a bipolar junction transistor. BJT has a three terminal. It is in the diode we have only two terminal. So here you can see there are two junction. So transistor can be considered as two diode connected back to back. Actually here we have because in diode we have only two type of material, that is P and N. So it is a diode, but in case of BJT we have three different types of material, that is N, P, N or P and P. So it means that two diodes are connected back to back, then it forms a BJT, that is a bipolar junction transistor. BJT has a three terminal and the middle section always will be very thin when you compare with the other. So now we will see the terminals of the transistor. Transistor has a three section of a doped semiconductor. The section, one side is called emitter and opposite to the emitter is called as a collector, and the middle section is called a base. You can see a two different diagram of a transistor, that is 1, 2, 3 defines the three terminals of the transistor. One is an emitter, opposite to that we have a collector, and in between the emitter and the collector we have a base. And you can see the arrow mark, that means that it is an emitter. So this is the symbol of a transmitter. Always it should be drawn inside the circle. So first we will define the terminals of the transistor. Emitter, the section of one side that supplies a carrier is called an emitter. Emitter is always forward bias with respect to the base, so it can supply carrier. For NPN transistor, emitter supply holds to its junction, and for PNP transistor, emitter supply electrons to its junction. So actually depending upon its carrier, okay, so whether it supply holes or the carrier, that it supply holes or the electrons to the junction. Next comes a collector, which is opposite to the emitter, that is to the opposite side to the emitter. So the collector is always reverse bias with respect to the base. For NPN transistor, collector receives holes to its junction, and for PNP transistor, collector receives electrons to its junction. Next comes a base. So the middle section will always be a base, and it is always said to be very thin also. So the middle section, which forms a 2p-n junction between the emitter and the collector, is called as base. So there are certain important factors to be remembered. The transistor has a three region, namely emitter, base and the collector. The base is much thinner than the other region. Emitter should be heavily doped and base should be lightly doped, and collector should be moderately doped. That is, emitter, why it should be heavily doped in the sense, so it can inject the large amount of carriers into the base. And the base should be lightly doped because so it can pass most of the carrier to the collector. And of course, collector should be always a moderately doped. The junction between the emitter and base is called emitter-base junction, or you can, because we know that the BJT forms a two different diode which is connected back to back, which is called as an emitter diode. And the junction between the base and collector is called collector-base junction, which is called as collector diode. So now we have a two diode, emitter diode and the collector diode. The emitter diode is always forward biased and the collector diode is always reverse biased. The resistance of the emitter diode is very small and the resistance of the collector diode is very high. Now we will enter into the transistor operation. So we have two different type of a transistor, that is NPN and the PNP transistor. So first we will see the working of an NPN transistor. You can see that like a diode, we have three types of material. First N, next P, next N, and always we can see that P is the center one is always thinner. It is lightly doped also. When you compare with N, yes, P should be always thinner, where we call it as a base. And you can see the terminals of the supply, which is connector. The input, that is we call it as a VEB, that is voltage across the emitter and the base. And the other voltage which is across your base and the collector, we call it as a VCB. So the three different current which is flowing, which is called IE, IB, IC, and this is NPN transistor. So we know that the arrow mark of the IE should be inverts. Clear? So the forward bias is applied to the emitter base junction and the reverse base bias is applied to the collector base junction. So you can see whether it is forward bias and reverse bias depending upon the junction. The forward bias in the emitter base junction causes electrons to move towards base. This constitutes the emitter current IE. So when you just give the forward bias to the emitter base junction, it will make the electrons to move towards the base, which is called as a current IE. As this current or the electrons flow towards the p-type base, they try to recombine with the holes. And you know that base is lightly doped and only few electrons combine with the holes within the base. As like a diode. Okay, so when you start applying the bias, the electrons will be migrating from its own place and which will combine in the holes. And these recombined electrons will constitute a very small base current IB. So we call it that is emitter current IE is equal to the total current of IB plus IC. That is base current and the collector current. Next comes the working of the PNP transistor. So PNP transistor, we know that we have a P-type material and N, which is lightly doped, and then we have a P-type material. So we know that we have a majority carriers of holes and the N have a majority carriers of electrons. And again, you have a center, the center one is IB, and you are going to give the supply, that is input supply to the emitter and the base is called the VEB. And towards the base and the collector, you're going to start giving the supply that is called as a voltage VCB. The forward bias is applied to the emitter base junction and the reverse bias is applied to the collector base junction. This is a common principle which has to be followed in the transistor bias. The forward bias in the emitter base junction will cause holes to move towards the base. So you know that the direction of the current flow you can see because it's going to be a PNP transistor. So the direction of the current from the emitter is outwards. And this current, the emitter current is called as an IE. A very minor current is going to flow there. As these holes flow towards N-type base, they try to recombine with electrons. It's just like opposite with respect to the NPN transistor. Again, here also they will recombine with the center one base. And we know that base is going to be a lightly doped and only a few holes will combine with electrons within the base. These recombined holes constitute a small base current, that is IB. The remainder holes will cross the base and constitute a current which is called as an IC collector current. Yes, this will show you the symbol of the transistor, both NPN and the PNP transistor. So first one you can see the NPN transistor, NPN, and always you know that the center one will be very thin, it is lightly doped, and the other two will be very thick and it is heavily doped also. And you can see IE, that is you can see emitter base, which should be forward bias and base collector should be reverse bias. And the arrow mark, you can see the direction of the collector current. That's very important. IE is outwards, and in case of your NPN transistor and in case of PNP transistor, IE should be inwards. And accordingly, if you see the symbol of the transistor, you can see the collector current, that is emitter current, and collector current, how it is the direction of the flow, and the base current, how the direction of the flow is. So what are the modes, operating modes of a transistor? So there are three different modes. First one is active mode, second one is saturation mode, third one is cutoff mode. Active mode, base emitter junction is forward and the base collector junction is reverse biased. That is called active mode. Saturation mode is base emitter junction is forward biased and base collector junction is also forward biased. That is the saturation mode. Cutoff mode is both the junctions are reverse biased. So these are the modes. These are the operating modes of the transistor. Now we come to the transistor configuration or the transistor connection in the circuit. So we have three different ways here. First one is common base, next common emitter, and finally comes common collector. Next, first we will see the common base configuration or common base connection. So common base terminology is derived from the fact that the base is common to both the input and output sides of the configuration. So you can see that a base is always be common. Yes, that is common base. Okay. When you come to the common base, base should be common. When you come to the common emitter, emitter should be common. When you come to the common collector configuration, the collector should be common. This is the terminology you have to use it. And you can see the two different transistors we have used. First transistor is nothing but the common base NPN configuration. And second diagram shows you the common base PNP configuration. And you can see the base is common here. And forward bias is emitter base and reverse bias is base collector junction. And the current flow of the emitter, that is the arrow mark, will define you the current flow of the PNP and the NPN transistor. And you have connected the current limiting resistor, that is RC, which is also called as a collector resistor at the output. So now you can see the common base configuration terminologies, that is alpha current amplification factor here. So this current amplification factor, the definition is ratio of change in the collector current to the change in the emitter current at constant. VCB is known as current amplification factor alpha. That is, we define as a del IC by del IE, where VCB is constant. The value of alpha is always less than unity. We can say it should be range between 0.9 to 0.99. Expression for collector current. Total emitter current does not reach the collector terminal because a small portion of it constitutes base current. So IE is equal to IC plus IB. So here you can see that we have the total current which is constitute at the emitter current. It is the addition of the collector current plus the base current. Also, the collector diode is reverse bias. So very few minority carrier passes the collector, the base junction, which actually constitute a leakage current ICB0. So ICB0 is very less current, which is called as a leakage current. We call it as a reverse leakage current ICB0. So the collector current constitute the portion of the emitter current, that is alpha IE, and a very small leakage current that we call it as a saturation current ICB0. So the collector current is equal to addition of alpha IE plus ICB0. So expression for collector current. Expression for collector current we will see here. IC is equal to alpha into IC plus IB plus ICB0. So we know that because we know that IC is equal to alpha IE plus ICB0 and IE is equal to the addition, that is IC plus IB. So I'll substitute IE is equal to IC plus IB in this equation. Then I'm going to take my IC and that is alpha as a common, IC as a common. IC into 1 minus alpha, that is equal to alpha into IB plus ICB0. And now from this I'm going to write the equation for IC. IC is equal to alpha by 1 minus alpha into IB plus ICB0 divided by 1 minus alpha. So this is the equation for the collector current. Next we will see the characteristics of the common base configuration. We have input and output characteristics. So if you see the input characteristics here, we are going to plot with respect to the that is input current and the input voltage, that is VBE versus the input current IE, that is called as the input characteristics. IE increases rapidly with VB. You can see the characteristics here. So IE, you can see here, it actually increases gradually with increase in the VB. When you increase the VB, IE is also increases. So it means that input resistance is very small. IE is almost independent of the VCB because we know that VCB is output current voltage. Next, when you come into the output characteristics here, we are going to plot with respect to the output voltage VBC with respect to the output current IC. Then it is called as the output characteristics. So IC varies linearly with the VBC. You can see there is a linear variation. There is something, you can have some linear variation only when VBC is very small. As VBC increases, IC becomes constant. You can see there are three regions which is defined there. Saturation region at towards your IC, and below the VCB you can see the cutoff region, both where you can see both the input and output are reverse bias, and you can see upon it active region, that is unshaded part is active. That is where you see there is a linear variation of the current. IE, you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 milliamps. So this is said to be a linear variation. This is the output characteristics of the common base configuration. Next, you are going to derive the input and output resistance of the common base configuration. So input resistance is defined as a ratio of change in the emitter base voltage to the change in the emitter current is called as the input resistance. That is input voltage with respect to the input current, that's all. Output resistance is the ratio of change in the collector base voltage to the change in the collector current. That is output voltage with respect to the output current is called as an output resistance. So that is you're going to define as a change. Then next you are going to come into the second configuration which is called as a common emitter connection. The common emitter terminology, if you see, emitter will be common. In case of common base, we have made a base as a common, but in emitter, you're going to make it as an emitter as a common with respect to the both input and output of the configuration. So here also you're going to see two different configuration, that is NPN transistor and PNP transistor. When you are going to see about NPN configuration, you can see the depending upon the arrow mark of the emitter current, you can decide whether it is NPN or the PNP. When it is outwards, we call it as a NPN. When it is inwards, it is called as a PNP. And you are connected with the current limiting resistor RC also. And for input is forward bias, output is reverse bias. And here we define beta. Beta is nothing but a base current amplification factor. In common emitter current connection, input current is base current and output current is collector current. So here beta, base current amplification factor, beta is ratio between del IC by del IE, or it is a change in the collector current to the change in the base current. Normally only 5% of the emitter current flows to the base. So the amplification factor is greater than 20. Usually the value between 20 to 500. Here we know what is alpha, what is beta. Alpha is current amplification for the common base and beta is a current amplification for the common emitter. Now we will see the relationship between beta and alpha. Beta is equal to del IC by del IB, and we already derived from the common emitter, and alpha del IC by del IE, they are derived from the common base, and we already know that IE is equal to IB plus IC. Now you're going to take it as a change, that is del IE is equal to del IB plus del IC, and from that I'm going to take what is del IB. Del IB is equal to del IE minus del IC. Now I'm going to substitute my IB in beta equation, so beta is equal to del IC by del IE minus del IC. Beta is equal to, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide the numerator and denominator by del IE. So del IC by del IE divided by del IE by del IE minus del IC by del IE. So del IE at the numerator will become cancel and becomes 1. And numerator we know that del IC by del IE is equal to alpha divided by 1 minus alpha. So beta is equal to alpha divided by 1 minus alpha. That is the relationship between beta and alpha. Next, expression for the collector current. Now we are going to define about the collector current IC. IC is equal to del IE plus del IC B naught. We know that IE is equal to IB plus IC. So IB plus IC. IC value we know already, that is the alpha IE plus ICB naught. ICB naught is a saturation, a reverse current. That is a small leakage current. So I'm going to write my IE, that is I'm going to take my alpha into that right hand side. So I'll become 1 minus alpha. That is equal to IB plus ICB naught. The same way, whatever we have done already, I'm going to derive IE. IE is equal to IB divided by 1 minus alpha plus ICB naught by 1 minus alpha. Now what IE or IC, both are equal only, so I'm going to write, that is I'm going to constitute this 1 minus alpha in terms of beta. I'm going to compare alpha into beta. So I'm going to write it as beta plus 1 into IB plus beta plus 1 into ICB naught. So this is equal to IC and IB. Next, we will see the input and output characteristics of the common emitter configuration. Input characteristics. Input characteristics is input voltage versus input current. VBE versus IB will give you the input characteristics. So IB increases rapidly with VBE, whatever we have done for the common base. It means that input resistance is very small and IE is almost independent of VCE. IB is in the range of the microamps. Next comes output characteristics. So output characteristics here, output voltage with respect to the output current. That is VCE with respect to the output current we are going to derive. That is called output characteristics. IC varies linearly with VCE only when VCE is very small. You can see here there is a linear variation. Like you have 3 different modes shown here, shaded part, saturation, active, and the cutoff region. You can see. So here there is a linear variation like 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 in terms of a microamps. So as VC increases, IC becomes constant. So certain terminologies you have to define like input and output resistance. Input resistance, the ratio of change in emitter base voltage to the change in the base current. That is input voltage with respect to the input current is called input resistance. RI is equal to del VBE by del IB. And then comes output resistance. The ratio of change in the collector emitter voltage to the change in the collector current is called output resistance. We call it as a del VCE by del IC. Yes, now we come into the final configuration, which is a common collector configuration. The common collector terminology is derived from the fact that the collector is common to both the input-output sides of the configuration. So you can see here the configuration we have. The collector should be common. Okay, but in case of base, we have a base as a common, emitter as a common, but in case of a collector, we make it as a collector as a common, and opposite side comes an emitter and input comes a base. And input is forward bias and output is reverse bias. Here also they have shown 2 different configuration, that is NP and NP transistor. And we have connected the current limiting resistor towards the emitter. So here we define the current amplification factor, gamma. In common emitter connection, input current is base current and output current is emitter current. We define the gamma as a current amplification factor in common collector configuration. That is gamma is equal to del IE by del IB. This current provides same gain as CE configuration. That is, we know that negligible, that is almost is linear. Your collector current and the emitter current is said to be almost linear. Now, here we define the relationship between gamma and alpha. Already we defined the relationship between alpha and beta. Now we define gamma and alpha, that is for the common base and the common collector. So gamma we know that del IE by del IB. Alpha we know that it is del IC by del IE. Okay, so we know that del IE that is equal to del IB plus del IC. So I'm going to write what is del IB. Del IB is equal to del IE minus del IC. So what is gamma here? Gamma is equal to, substitute your IB there. Del IE divided by del IB. What is del IB? That is del IE minus del IC. Now you divide the numerator and denominator by del IE. At numerator del IE by del IE becomes cancelled, that is 1. And numerator also it becomes cancelled, minus you have a del IC by del IE, so it becomes alpha. So I substitute gamma is equal to 1 divided by 1 minus alpha. Now I'm going to derive the collector current. IC is equal to, already we know that it is alpha IE plus IC V naught. IC V naught is a reverse leakage current, and IE is equal to IB plus IC and IC. Okay, I'm going to substitute in IE here. So IE is equal to IB plus alpha IE plus IC V naught. Now you're going to take alpha into this right hand side. So IE into 1 minus alpha is equal to IB plus IC V naught. And divide the numerator divided by, that is 1 minus alpha. IE is equal to IB divided by 1 minus alpha plus IC B naught divided by 1 minus alpha. And IE and IC is most similar, so as which I have derived already. So I'm going to convert alpha into beta in terms of beta. So when I'm going to convert, that is, you have 1 divided by 1 minus alpha, I'm going to convert into 1 plus beta into IB plus 1 plus beta into IC B naught. So beta, we know that already, we have derived alpha divided by 1 minus alpha. So we are going to substitute in this equation, because we have, what happens, beta plus 1? Beta plus 1 will become alpha divided by 1 minus alpha plus 1. Okay, so that is what we are going to substitute here. And finally comes the comparison of transistor connection. So now we have studied 3 different comparison. That is a common base, common emitter, and common collector. So when you come into the common base and common emitter, common collector, this configuration comparison is very important at various points. We are going to compare with input resistance, output resistance, voltage gain, current gain, and its applications, everything. So input resistance. When you come to the input resistance for the common base, it is very low, that is about 100 ohm. And for the common emitter, it is also very low, that is about 750 ohm. And for common collector, it is very high, about 750 kilo ohm. And next comes output resistance. For the common base, it is about 450 kilo ohm, it is very high. And for the common emitter, it is high, that is about 45 kilo ohm. And for the common collector, it is very low, that is about 150 ohm. Next comes voltage gain. Voltage gain is about 150 for the common base, about 500 for the common emitter, and it is less than unity for the common collector. Current gain is less than 1 for the common base. It is high, we say, from the beta, that is for the common emitter, and it is appreciable in the common collector. Applications, when you come for the common base, it is used for very high frequency applications. Common emitter is used for audio frequency applications. Common collector, it is used for impedance matching. So these are the comparison of various configuration. Yes. So we have discussed so far about BJT terminals, symbol and its operation, configuration, working modes of operation, and all the 3 regions of operation, everything. Okay. So this defines you the basics of the BJT, bipolar junction transistor. Thank you.